What's up, guys?
I'm TLO.
I'm Kendall Gill, and you're watching
The Parley.
The Parley.
Parley. What's up, guys? TLO here for The Parley. Kendall Gill.
Yes, sir.
Kendall's special edition of The Parley today.
I can't wait for this edition. Two guys that think they know the NBA and are going to make some valid points are going to go at it. MJ versus LeBron. Let's see what they got to talk about.
I can't wait. Check it out. What's up, guys? TLO here for The Parley, and I am here with these young gentlemen, and they have made me so happy because today is debate day on The Parley. Yes, you heard it right in the intro. And guys, the topic of discussion has been a heated topic, and I've been talking to these two guys, and I had to have them on the show today because they're entertaining. This is going to be entertaining television. Steven, where you from?
Chicago, Illinois.
Ron, where you from?
West Side of Chicago.
All right, two Chicago guys here to talk about who had better competition in their career, particularly in the NBA playoffs and finals. We're talking about LeBron James and Michael Jordan. When it comes down to the NBA back in Michael's days and LeBron now, okay, today's game, the skill and the athleticism, how do you compare those two in making your decision?
Okay, well, athleticism, the athlete gets better every year, in my opinion. So I agree that LeBron's athleticism, like the athleticism around him, is better than what Jordan faced. But a lot of teams these days are taking players based on their athleticism and hoping to develop their skill, which sometimes does not follow along. Back in Jordan's day, they took the skill, and then the athleticism came along with it. And that's where I see Jordan, because the points per game were higher in the 90s. I mean, yes, there was a lot less three-point shooting.
Points per game were higher in the 90s?
Yeah, it went down. It went down a little bit.
I mean,
and then it shot right
the
back
league
up.
now is so entertaining, though.
Because everyone shoots threes.
Exactly.
Okay, so that really makes it tough on LeBron.
In the 90s, what were you doing? You were dumping the ball in the post to your big man.
Not Jordan. He was dunking on people.
Jordan was, okay?
But that's what I'm talking about.
Who can you compare to Mike in the 90s?
Clyde Drexler.
Clyde Drexler?
There was an argument during the finals. There was an argument during the finals that Clyde was better than Jordan. Now, I don't know who made that argument because I'm not that kind of person. Mm-hmm. But then Jordan hit 6 threes in the first half and drew lines at the Trailblazers in the finals. Uh-huh. So whenever an argument came up about Jordan, he settled it right then and there on the court. Barkley, MVP that year.
That's no competition. Clyde Drexler, no competition. You're just proving my point.
How is that now?
He just murdered him. MJ murdered him. You're proving my point,
No,
man.
that's proving how great Jordan was.
Exactly.
Charles Barkley.
He's so great that he had no one else greater or as great as him. Clyde Drexler?
Okay,
come on. Charles Barkley?
Who's his equal than LeBron?
Who did LeBron have? Tim Duncan. He had a heavy dose of Tim Duncan. Okay? I would argue Tim Duncan's definitely top 10. I might even argue him as maybe top 2. Okay?
Like a power forward of all time?
Second greatest. We know he's number 1. Come on, Tim Duncan, since he's gotten in the league, 50 plus wins?
Yes.
Since he's gotten in the league.
He's not that
How
kind
many
of
rings?
5.
How many rings?
5.
The thing with Tim Duncan, why he doesn't get his recognition, because he played for one of the most boring teams in the league.
And why do we watch basketball, Ron?
He played with one
why
of
do
the
we watch basketball, Ron?
But
to
he
be
got
entertained.
Titles. He got titles.
And I recall him absolutely spanking LeBron after Ray Allen bailed him out and
you're
a title.
proving my point. You're proving my point.
Michael don't need help because he's the best.
No one spanked Mike. No one spanked Mike.
Isaiah Thomas,
You're proving my point.
the Larry Bird, and the
but look how they
Celtics.
had to beat him. Look how Isaiah and them had to beat him.
Yeah, they wrote a book about it.
They had to literally beat the man. They literally had to beat the man.
Okay, then why is no one doing that to LeBron?
Because the rules are different.
So
if Mike played now, he'd be killing. Back in the 90s, you were able to handshake.
So you're telling me Michael?
You remember Derek Harper?
Right now?
You remember Derek Harper?
Yes.
That guy was handshaking everybody. It was like he was dancing.
Well, I mean, yeah, the rules definitely changed, but Michael fought through that and still averaged 30 points a game.
He certainly
and
did.
Also in the playoffs.
He certainly did, and that's what makes him so great.
Also
he had
in the
no
playoffs,
competition.
My man's points went up per game, and his field goal percentage went up per game. LeBron's.
Whose?
Michael's.
All right.
LeBron's going down.
Who was Mike's competition?
A bunch of Hall of Famers. They assembled the dream team.
That lost against him.
Okay, just because you lose to someone.
Mike was the greatest at his time. Okay? Mike was the greatest in his time. all of those guys will even say it. Okay? LeBron, he can't even get that now. Okay? The guys now are coming at LeBron. He knows teams are stacked up against him. That's why he's crying for help now.
Let me just retract for a quick second. This is a great conversation. One last question for both of you here. When it comes to Hall of Famers, does it matter in your argument who had more competition? Michael, the Hall of Famers he faced, LeBron, the Hall of Famers he's played. He's played.
Well, we won't know the end of his argument for what? I don't even know how long does it take to get into the Hall of Fame. 3 or 4 years after basketball, you retire.
Right.
So he could have a bunch, and we don't know right now.
Exactly.
But Tim Duncan played both eras, and the Spurs didn't get there. But again, he was very young. A few crossed the generations, but I mean, yes, obviously it plays a critical factor because again, those players are statistically some of the greatest players to ever play the game. Karl Malone, second leading all-time scorer. John Stockton, league leader in assists. Clyde Drexler, all these guys. Hakeem the Dream was the number 1 overall draft pick over Jordan. One of the greatest centers to ever play the game. Some would say he has 2 titles because Jordan decided to go hit a baseball for a year and a half.
Which is true.
Yes, exactly. So again, and I would have loved to see Jordan face those guys.
Definitely. Here's my list right here. Okay? These are the teams both of them face. Okay?
Thank you.
I'm going in the order. Okay?
You're ranking the teams in order?
I'm ranking the teams. I'm
Okay.
going 2016 Warriors. Okay?
Fair enough.
LeBron
73
team.
and 9.
That's the team LeBron played. Okay? 2015 Warriors. That's the team LeBron played. 07 Spurs. That's the team LeBron played. 2014 Spurs. Who got them? LeBron.
Now why?
91
hold on.
Lakers. 2011 Mavs. 97 Jazz. 98 Jazz. 97 Jazz is probably the best team MJ played in the finals. 2013 Spurs. I'm going 2012 Thunder. 93 Suns. 96 Sonics. And Mr. Drexler's Spurs would probably, Blazers would probably be the weakest team.
Now what? I want to know what your thought
These are the
process on
teams both of them face.
that. No, I know that. Thank you for telling me that. But why
I
do you
just
think
ranked them and
But
LeBron's teams
what
are
were the
higher.
statistics behind it that gave you that? Or
I
do
mean,
you just
the
pick
teams themselves, talent. I mean, look what happened. LeBron lost to teams. Jordan didn't lose to anyone in the finals. Okay?
The parlay.
The parlay.
There you have it. This is the parlay.
There's no competition.
This is the parlay. Give us your thoughts on what do you think. Do you think LeBron had more competition than MJ in their careers? Obviously, LeBron's not done with his career yet, but can you say up to this point that either one or the other had better competition? We want to know from you. It's the parlay. Comment below, and as we do that, and as you do that, we're going to get perspective from someone who guards both of them. Kendall, what do you think? Whose side are you on?
Well, listen, great debate. I thought both guys had valid points. However, I am going to have to go with Steven on this one not because I played in the Michael Jordan era, it's just because I'm right, okay? And I know. Hey, listen, Ron made some legitimate points about LeBron James. Yes, he faced a 2016 Warriors team that won 73 games, did a great job, but guess what? 73 and 9? Doesn't mean a thing without a ring, okay? You've heard that before. Also, the 07 Spurs, kind of shaky with, I believe, Tim Duncan, a young Tim Duncan. I believe David Robinson was on that team as well. Pretty good team, but I don't think that those teams line up with the teams that Jordan faced. And Steven brought up a very good point. No, actually, I think Ron brought up a very good point. Hand-checking rules. You guys don't realize how easy it is to score in the league today, okay? Back when I played and back in the Jordan era, it was very hard to score because you could guide a guy anywhere you wanted to go. You could be a lot more physical in the league. That's why the competition was so much harder, okay? Now let's take a look at the 97 Jazz. 2 Hall of Famers, Karl Malone, John Stockton. You can't beat that. Also, All-Star Jeff Hornacek did a great job for the Utah Jazz. Then we go down to the Suns, and I know they had a big debate about the Suns. but Barkley was an MVP that year. Let's not forget multiple-time All-Star Kevin Johnson, who was a load. Also, they have a various assortment of players that really contributed. Dan Marley comes to mind as one. So the Phoenix Suns were a pretty formidable team as well. Now let's go back to the Portland Trail Blazers. Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, Buck Johnson, Kevin Duckworth, the late great Kevin Duckworth, Cliff Robinson. These guys were loaded from top to bottom. I actually put the Portland Trail Blazers team as the second toughest team that Michael Jordan has ever faced in the finals. As a matter of fact, I felt that the Portland Trail Blazers had the edge going into that series. I didn't think that the Chicago Bulls would handle them so easily. I mean, it wasn't easy. It went to 6 games, but I didn't think that the Bulls would have that much, that the Portland Trail Blazers would have that much trouble with the Bulls. So, now, let's go to the Los Angeles Lakers. You can't put Magic Johnson, James Worthy aside. You can't put Showtime aside. I think that the Los Angeles Lakers at this point in time was probably one of the better teams in NBA history. They were loaded from top to bottom as well. I think that the weakest team that Michael Jordan faced were the Seattle Supersonics. And that's saying a lot because they had Hall of Famer Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, who was a great player back then, Detlef Schrempf, also Sam Perkins. So I think that all of those teams that I just named in the Michael Jordan era could easily beat any of these teams on Ron's list. The 2016 Warriors, the 07 Spurs, the 2014 Spurs, the 2011 Mavs, the 2013 Spurs, the 2012 Thunder, which was really a two-man team with KD and Russell Westbrook. Also, James Harden hadn't come into his own at that point. So, that being said, I've made my point. I'm going to have to go with Steven merely based on the talent level and the hand-checking rules and the physicality of the league back when MJ played. That's my statement. I said it, and I ain't changing my mind. The parlay.